If you spent 2025 waiting for this real estate market to crash so you can afford a home, I've got some difficult news for you. You missed the quietest entry point we have seen in the next decade. 2025 was the year of the great stay, but the data we are seeing proves that 2026 will be the year of the great surge. So let's look at what actually happened last year, and we could describe it as 2025 was a stalemate. First-time home buyers dropped to an all-time low of 21% of the market. And here's why. Mortgage rates averaged around 6.7%, and inventory was almost non-existent. People were locked in to their 3% interest rates because they refinanced or bought 3-4 years ago. And they basically refused to budge. But while the headlines were screaming like a crash is coming, prices actually held steady or grew modestly. Here in the Myrtle Beach area, we saw buyers just simply stop looking. But sellers didn't drop their prices, right? It was like this stalemate. Buyers and sellers were just waiting on each other. And they just waited and waited and waited. Well, the wait ends today. Here is why 2026 is going to be different. It's the 6% sweet spot. Forecasts from the NAR and Zillow suggest mortgage rates will average around 6% to 6.3% this year, possibly getting down to 5.9% in December. Every 1% drop in interest rate brings in 5.5 million households back into the market. So if we can even get down to 6%, and even get into the 5s, that means we're in for a great year. So the sooner, the better. Second, the wage price flip, we'll call it. For the first time since the pandemic, wages are finally growing faster than home prices, which has always been a problem. This is the affordability thaw we've all been waiting for. We need wages, salaries to be able to go up, to be able to afford the high pricing of these houses, because that is and has been the real issue the past 2 years. It's not a price crash, it's an income catch-up, which is what we want. So here's your 2026 strategy if you're a seller. The secret window that we talked about in December is wide open. You are competing against the shadow inventory. What the shadow inventory is the millions of people who wanted to sell last year but didn't. They're going to be listing in the spring. Watch. List now before the flood of listings happen in the spring. This happens every single year. Everyone waits until the spring. But this year is a little different because you got a lot of built up shadow inventory that's going to be hitting the market in the spring. If you're a buyer, here's your strategy. Expect competition to return. You won't be fighting 20 people for one house like you did in 2021, 2022, but you will be fighting that 14% increase in sales volume. Get your pre-approval updated this week. Get ready, hit the ground running. So to wrap up, 2026 isn't going to be easy, but it's going to be active. The stagnation of 2025 is behind us. You got a lot of homeowners, a lot of sellers are sitting on the fences, and they're fatigued. They're exhausted. They're going to start pulling the trigger this year. And with interest rates getting down, wage gap closing, we're in for a pretty good 2026 in comparison to 24-25. If you want to know exactly how to navigate these specific numbers, especially in the Myrtle Beach market, if you own here or if you want to buy here, get with me down below. My number is down below. Give me a call. Love to help you out. If you're elsewhere, reach out to me still. I have top agents around the country that can help you out. And folks, if you're just watching, to get caught up on the real estate market, hit the like, subscribe button. And folks, have a wonderful weekend. Happy New Year. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.